Welcome to the FML podcast. My name is Freddie.
Motherfuckers, welcome.
That's pretty early, man. That is pretty early.
I said it on purpose, just so that you would be shocked.
Yes, apparently, motherfuckers, welcome. How y'all doing? Like I said, my name is Freddie. We are here at the FML podcast, episode 58.
And my name is Lido.
Motherfuckers, welcome.
You motherfuckers, welcome.
Mr. Motherfucker, welcome. Yeah. So, last week we had Eddie on.
Yes, we did.
It was a sports edition.
Was it? Mostly, yeah.
Yeah,
we talked about the mayor.
Like
we
80% sports.
Yeah.
85% sports.
Well, I think with Edward, it's a good, let's say he's familiar with sports. He watches a lot of sports.
Well, it was a fight week.
Also, it was a fight week, and Edward is a big sports guy. And I felt it was a big, it was a big Haitian convo last week.
Oh, this
Stavern thing, and I felt like we needed a Haitian on the episode, and we had Edward defending him.
Yeah, was he defending him?
He was.
Was he?
Yes.
Hey, I don't remember. I honestly don't remember.
He was defending him. He was giving excuses for him for why he lost the way he lost and all that. But hey, I mean, I just feel like he was disappointing. He gave a disappointing performance.
I agree.
But, I mean, hey, I'm not here to revoke the Haitian card of the man, but...
Temporarily.
Until he loses 25 pounds, in that gut at least. Like, what the... Like, you're a heavyweight fighter and you look like that?
I don't have a problem with anything he did except for the effort. That was my problem. Because there are heavyweight champions that look worse than him. So, that's not the real issue. It was more like how he went down.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't have the effort to give because he's not keeping himself in shape.
Bro, he threw 4 punches.
Hey, well, when you got a volcano named Deontay Wilder coming at you, bro, you don't have that many opportunities to throw punches because that guy is a volcano.
Completely agree.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
I've even seen him bully a dude that was talking shit on him online, and he had the dude show up to the gym.
No way.
A skinny white boy.
No way.
He had him show up to the gym. I think the dude said things about his daughter. He has a daughter that's I don't know exactly the problem, but she has some type of handicap.
Okay.
And that white dude might have said something about his handicapped daughter.
Okay.
And he had him come to the gym. Bruh.
What'd he do?
He was running after him in the gym, like really throwing punches.
So he was in the ring with them?
No, not even in the ring. Soon as dude stepped in the whole gym.
It was a fight?
Yes, but he was going after him, but like his trainers were holding him back and shit like that and protecting the white dude. And while he's trying to beat up the white dude, he's like, yo, talk about my daughter again. Talk about anyone from
this guy trying to lose his boxing license or something?
I don't know, but it's on YouTube, bro. And
yo, it's funny how when we talk about a white dude, we'll say a white dude. But if we're listening to a conversation with two white people talking about a black guy, if they say the black guy, then it sounds kind of racist.
It does. But the thing is, they do say it. And
I didn't say they don't say it. I'm saying if you're listening to a conversation.
If you're sensitive, you'll it's racist. But man, if they're trying to identify someone real quick and then there's guy. 3 people. The black guy, man.
But somebody will call
somebody may feel offended by that, but I wouldn't. I mean, at work, think about it. Let's say you work in an environment where there's like 2-3 black guys in the work.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they'll mix the names of those 2-3 black guys, right?
Bruh. And I find that so annoying because a lot of times the names don't even sound the same.
Yeah, I know, but they'll always do it.
Yeah.
And, you know, if that person says that to another white person, no, the other black guy. Like, but
if you're not sensitive, it doesn't bother you.
Exactly. And I think sometimes it's like the English word that the English people like to use that they try to steal from us. It's apropos. Sometimes that's what you should say. Sometimes, I mean, you're being insensitive. But man, if there's 2 black guys and we all know we're not talking about this one, the other black guy.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times I try not to do it.
Or if you're talking about one black guy within a whole crew of white people or Asian people, the black guy. Like, hey, let's not be sensitive.
I try not to do it, but some people are overly sensitive, and I think
especially in 2017,
overuse the race card, and then you run out of it because people stop caring when you overuse it.
Yeah, people do stuff, but I mean, someone that people would say overused it, but I think again it's apropos. Is Colin Kaepernick just this week, just today? Is it today that the article came out?
Yeah, this morning. Well, we wanted to switch up the format a little of the podcast. Usually what we do is we go through hot topics and whatever is going on out there and that we feel what's going on, which is apropos.
I mean, what's going on?
Whatever's going on out there, we go over. And this morning we woke up to GQ making Colin Kaepernick their Citizen of the Year. And on the cover, you can see Kaepernick with his big fro. And it said that it was
dressed in all black with
all
the
black,
gold
looking
chain,
kind of like a Black Panther. And it was intending to evoke the spirit of Muhammad Ali's anti-Vietnam War protest in the neighborhood during the late 60s, which I think was also that the original Muhammad Ali that they're shoot that they're referring to
was done in Harlem.
shot also in Harlem.
Yep.
And so like I woke up to that and I sent it to you and I thought. And it just made me think about a lot of things, and it was more like, what's the point of him doing it? What's the purpose, and also what's our purpose? And do we all have purpose, and do we all have like things that we should or shouldn't do? And that's really what it evoked in me.
Well, the point of him doing it has been lost over time, right?
That
and
I really agree.
The main point, or at least the initial point of his whole protests was against systemic oppression on black people, specifically police brutality on black people. That message has been lost. And as a matter of fact, as I read in an article that talked about it today, it said that his silence, he realized the power in his silence.
Yeah.
And I think it's very true, because with him having been silent, obviously we see people have twisted the word, twisted his words, twisted the whole value, not the value, but twisted, what's the word I'm looking for? The emphasis, not the direction of his protest.
Okay.
It's not misconstrued, right? That's what I was looking for, not the word I'm looking for, but let's go in that direction. The president fucked it all up.
It's funny. I mean, let me just cut you for a second. It's funny you say that because I just wrote a quote that he said in the article. He said he told GQ that the reason he wanted to participate,
it's going to
reclaim the narrative of his protest, which has been hijacked by a president eager to make this moment about himself.
So the president fucked it all up.
Yeah.
At first, it wasn't the president. First, it was all the rednecks that were saying he's disrespecting the flag, and then the president put the cherry on top by calling them sons of bitches, and now every player is kneeling because of it. But the initial point was police brutality and systemic oppression on black people. Yeah. And now, it's in the whole year that's happened, he's been vilified for it, where I don't see why he should be vilified, because it's obvious there is systemic racism. Yeah. There is oppression on black people, not just by police.
He's not vilified because of that. He's vilified
because he nailed
because some people are using the flag itself to some people symbolizes a lot, but they're using it as an excuse to be against.
Yeah, they brought in the flag into the convo. The flag was not in the convo.
Exactly.
So because
he made the point
because he's doing it during the national anthem, and the actual sight of seeing someone kneeling during what you feel they should stand up and put their hand to their heart listening to,
or just stand up. That's there.
When you see someone kneeling and you see a black person kneeling to your white national, I'll say white, because the country was built for white people, right?
Yeah, but a lot of black people feel the same way about it also. Yes,
those that have been brainwashed.
Yeah, exactly.
And now you see a black man kneeling to what you feel is the white man's song. And he's kind of saying to you, I am not rocking with this song or this moment, which to you is sacred. You then easily can use that against him, make him look like a villain. He actually is giving you the imagery, because that's the imagery that you guys vilified before when the Black Panthers when the Black Panthers were out there. The afro, the black leather jacket, all of that stuff is stuff that you guys vilified and made seem bad. So he's giving you all of that, and it's easy for you to say this is bad, this guy is disrespecting us, and that message has spread and spread until it reached the ears and the eyes of the president, who then amplified the whole thing with his speech. But one thing people can't forget is that he's a citizen of the year because his message has reached so many people. It has even made some people realize that this shit is going on. Because yes, I mean, there were so many deaths at the hand of cops. But before Colin Kaepernick put it in all of our homes with doing it for the NFL, I mean, during the NFL games, because a lot of white folks don't care about the news that's happening in Brooklyn, New York, or in Baltimore, or in.
But you're. It's funny you say that because you're making it about bigger cities, but mostly the victims to these cops aren't even in big cities.
No, but those. I was just mentioning big cities or cities that these deaths happen. That, like Baltimore, I think the Tamir Rice thing, girl, it was in Baltimore. Brooklyn, New York was the guy selling Lucy's on the street. People in Beverly Hills, people in Connecticut, people in upstate New York, people in Brentwood, like, they don't give a flying fuck about what's happening in the hood.
I mean, we've had this argument before. You're going in majority.
I'm talking about the elite now.
You're naming. Well, even then, you're naming places that have majority of white people,
and rich.
Regardless whether they're rich or not, I think there's a mentality that there's a specific type of racist, but that's not true. Like, you don't know what a racist looks or doesn't look like. You can assume and you can generalize. Obviously, you can say a honk, he's a racist, but there's a lot of them that are marching with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't think we should put.
Well, obviously, I'm generalizing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, but you shouldn't do that. This specifically now, you shouldn't generalize, because that's what it brings. You're pretty much doing the same thing that they're doing by generalizing what a racist or people that care or don't care look like, or are like.
No, what I'm saying is that people that live in those areas don't care much about what's happening in Brooklyn. I'm not talking about necessarily a death. They don't care about what's happening in the hood.
Okay,
they don't relate to that. They don't. It usually does not reach
that's
them.
The thing also, it doesn't have to do with the hood or not. It has to do with a specific type of people, whether they're rich or rich, because that's what the whole LeBron thing was about, right? It doesn't matter whether you're rich, poor, or whether you live in Brooklyn or freaking Beverly Hills. There's a specific type of people that's being targeted. So it shouldn't matter where the person lives or where the person's from or where the news is coming from. It's happening.
Well, who do you think is targeted?
Huh?
Who do you think is targeted?
Black people.
It's not only black people. It's poor black people.
But how do you know who's poor and who's not poor?
Well, that's why they generally, when you're living in a poor neighborhood, you are being treated differently than when you live in a rich neighborhood. And usually these things happens in poor neighborhoods.
When you go to rich neighborhoods, well, if you're a black guy in rich neighborhoods, you're more likely to get stopped also.
Not if you're of that neighborhood, because they know you.
Obviously.
But that's my point. Yeah. Those people don't relate because they know everyone that lives in their area. Yeah. Their kids play together. Everyone goes to the same school, frequents the same country club. They do not relate.
Who doesn't relate?
Rich people living in those areas, whether they're white or black. Most of the time they're white. You'll find the
so you're saying 2-3%. You're saying black people that live in are high income black people. A lot of them don't care about what's going on.
I wouldn't say they don't care. They relate less. So they'll be in that. They watching the news. They'll feel the pain, but the next day, their
life isn't, their train of life isn't changing,
and they most likely may not do anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, most people won't do shit about it.
Most people, even the people in the hood living next door to the victim.